Welcome to Ellis B. Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
KFOG San Francisco, FM 104.5. All music, all the time.
Dave, I don't. What more can be said? I mean, this is rather distressing and depressing, but but I'm very happy for you, and we are all proud of you. Yes. It's all about celebrating, at the end of the day, good human beings, good people, and we forget that. And you got all these very, you're so well known, and there's a professional part of you that people hear, but they also hear that human side, and that's why I think everybody knows it's why you've been so successful, but so meaningful to a lot of people. And so I just want to extend that personally as well.
And I would, while I have the chance face-to-face, probably the last time, to personally thank you for everything you've done for the city, for all the people of the city, but especially the same-sex marriage thing and everything. That you are a genuine hero for being brave enough to just to stick with the principles, because we all know what's right. And so thank you on behalf of all the gay people who I speak for, and the straight people too, because we all get it.
All of us.
We are going to get there. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
Gavin, do you mind sticking around if people promise not to yell at you about potholes and?
Only if they promise me. It's the holidays.
Okay, we'll open the lines. No potholes though. 1-800-300-KFOG at 8 o'clock. San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom is joining us.
So, Dave, tell me what you're doing for the holidays. What's next? I mean, you're going to just take off on an airplane to Michigan? What's going on?
I'm driving. I'm taking off Sunday morning and driving back, and I hope to be on my folks' living room floor for Christmas Day. Isn't that sweet?
Well done. And you're driving because gas prices are below $2?
Yeah, exactly.
Gavin, tell me why
I just want to use it.
Ask him where he's spending Christmas Eve.
Oh, where are you spending Christmas Eve, Dave?
If all goes well, I'll be at the Do Come Inn, just west of St. Louis.
All right, that's an exciting Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I found it
and
on
for
the net.
New Year's, what do you expect to be doing?
I think I'm going to be in the new house, and I'm going to have they do a weenie roast on the beach in the middle of winter. It's really pretty cool. Bonfire, and everybody gets
All right, reason enough to move.
Thank you.
And relocate.
All right.
So you don't like getting interviewed. I like this turning the tables here. Dave, let me talk about your childhood. What motivated you? Was your relationship with your parents strong?
Let's take a call here.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you you're the best, and I'm really going to miss you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and give a shout to Jim Marshall. I used to hang with him in the 70s.
Uh-oh.
What's your name?
Terry Cronin.
Terry Cronin. Do you know Terry Cronin?
I forget.
Oh, he forgets.
Oh, that's okay. I know.
Sorry.
I forgot about him till you brought up it.
Thanks for the call.
Okay, good luck.
Bye.
Dave, thank you so much for everything, for all the great years.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You are the best, and all respect, Mayor Newsom, but this is really Dave's day.
You got
I appreciate all you do too, sir, but we're really going to miss our Dave Morey.
I got a proclamation, so it is my day. Yeah, it's official.
That's right.
Well, I wake up to a sky so blue.
All the best.
It's loose. A great record on KFOG at 25 minutes after 8 o'clock. San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom, who will not talk about anything.
He refuses. It's your day.
Yeah, Greg keeps
I like this. No attention to that mayor.
Of the day.
No, again, you said it. You read said GM, something happened today, but Dave is the story.
Right.
That's it.
You're just another foghead this morning who happens to be mayor of San Francisco.
Exactly, and was able to, break in under the guise of being mayor.
Well, let's try this angle then. Dave Morey's moving away to Michigan. Can you ever see yourself moving out of the Bay Area and taking office, perhaps, somewhere else?
I respect the good people of Michigan, as I do the good people up and down the great state of California. And thank you. And anyway, Dave, I want to go back to that first moment when you knew it was radio. Radio.
Radio for me, you mean?
What was the attractiveness to radio? What was it that drove you to say, boy, this is comfortable and enjoyable? Do you remember that first moment on the air where you said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
I think I was there even before. Mayor Newsom, I was born that way. It was not a decision. I'm
There's
serious.
no scientific evidence to prove that, however.
No, ever since I was a kid, just fiddling with dials on the radio and stuff. I think I want to do engineering, but I don't have the mind for that, and so.
And did you remember what was your first job? Did you intern in a radio station? How'd you get involved?
Right on the air when I was a senior in high school. And it was a small enough town where you could do that, and it was reading news and then the music. It was a beautiful music station, so it was like watching the tape machines.
Yeah.
Huh?
What town?
Oh, Jim Marshall wants to know.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Right.
It's right here, right there.
Right there. Well, as long as, can we flip that for a second?
Yeah. When did you decide you wanted to be mayor?
Well, yeah, mayor or a politician. When
were
did
you nervous the first day?
No.
Yeah, you were on the air.
No.
Were you nervous?
This is a harmless question. At what age did you decide? I want to run for office, and we know you had you wanted to do it for the right reasons.
No, yeah, all right, yeah, sure. No, I never. I mean, I always. They used to call me El Presidente in high school because I was always debating people on everything. I didn't know what the heck. I still don't know, for some people's perspective, what I'm talking about. But it didn't mean I wanted to get an elected office. It really wasn't until I had the city try to stop me from opening up my wine store because they demanded I put a mop sink in a store which had a carpet. And I said, what am I going to mop? And they said, well, the code says section 4 point whatever. And I was furious, and I really got activated and said, boy, what's going on with local politics? Love national politics, but local politics, give me a break. And then all of a sudden it got personal, and that's what drove me to be interested, and I got involved in some campaigns and got appointed to the Parking and Traffic Commission. That's how it started. But Dave...
No, I have a follow-up, please.
No, what is it? This is unfair. It's your day.
It seems like
I want to take the day back and make it my day so I have control of this conversation now.
It seems like you're, not always, but lots of times getting beat up. Does that ever get really old, and why do you still...
You develop a thicker, thin skin. Meaning, at a certain point, it becomes so redundant, and you become a bit numb. You just really, you can't read the papers. Yeah. I mean, you really can't. So I read national news, and I watch national news, and I try to listen to the radio as much as I can, but it's really hard because you just couldn't, you'd have no basis of any self-esteem or self-worth if you truly read the blogs in the paper, and everybody's, you're never good enough. And so once you establish that frame where you just, no matter what you do, and no matter how extraordinary you are, and I think even Obama's discovering this, right? I mean, we have so much hope and aspiration tied up to him, and then, he does pick a Rick Warren to do his invocation, and you say, well, what is that about? And start questioning things. And then, some folks in the transition has been masterful in some respects, but there's been some appointments you go, interesting. And such is the nature of governance, and that's why I hope people will give him a break and understand that his job is to try to bring all of us together, regardless of our, regardless of party or identity or ideology, regardless of whether or not we live in urban or suburban areas, red states, blue states, and that's the spirit of our times. And that doesn't mean, again, you have to always agree, but again, his point, don't be disagreeable when you disagree, and that's challenging for all of us.
Well, and even when we've got this 24-hour news cycle and all the cable channels, they have to feed the beast. So I mean, they'll take any political decision and dissect it, ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. And then you have the YouTubeification of the world, so you're always online, literally, and not figuratively. I mean, you can imagine. I mean, a guy like Giuliani would never even have thought of running for president had they had YouTube during his years as mayor. I mean, you have a whole new generation of politicians that are going to live under a different level of scrutiny, the likes of which none of us have ever conceived. And so it's not just the macaca moment that killed one politician. It's the San Francisco moment with Barack Obama and people clinging to gun and God, and the reality that you're either going to be more authentic or more tepid. One or the other. You have two choices. And we want authenticity, but we don't want someone to say something we disagree with or do something we disagree with. So it's a tough balancing act, but it really brings me back to the narrative of your life. So there is something about the narrative of life.
Yes.
No, but really, it's about those magical moments, about callers coming in saying, I was at an event because you sponsored it, and I met this person, fell in love with them, and you changed my life. It's about having that impact, about changing the story of someone's life in a positive way. That's what life's all about. And think about that for you. I mean, all these years, 40 plus years, but 26 years, how many moments and how many lives you've changed in ways that you'll never know, Dave. Subtle ways, substantive ways. People feeling despair, and all of a sudden they had a smile on their face because something you said or a song that brought back a memory. It's a very powerful thing. And so for that, thank you.
You're good on the radio. Do you want to join the KFOG morning show?
I got to get a deeper voice, my radio voice.
You still got that other radio show?
Why are you laying me out like that? The ratings are huge. I got my cousins, my second cousins to listen. We doubled the ratings.
As long as we're laying you out, you need more Facebook friends, too.
Why? I do need. Would you guys just make me feel better? Become my friend on Facebook.
San Francisco Mayor Gavin Newsom is with us. It's 8:31 at KFOG, and Renee has traffic.
You're listening to the final days of KFOG.
It's 8:37 at KFOG.
Good time.
Would it be okay if, with you? My mom is. We had a picture taken together years ago when Mayor Newsom first started, and I sent it to my folks, and she is just beside herself with that. And then all the recent Prop 8 stuff. She cried me she called me the next morning in tears because of the reaction. I had to talk her down about it. Say it's going to be okay. But
I keep reminding it's not just about the gay community. It's about friends and family. It's about so many other people who are impacted by that, and so. Hello, Mom.
There you go.
Your mom did well, Dave. So we thank your mother.
Retired to me. He did that. Yeah, right. Well, we thank you very much for coming down and spending so much time.
Mona, we'll miss you. We really will. Thank you, Dave, for everything you've done for us.
Thank you. You are a great man.
Thank you.
It's 8:38 at KFOG.
Yeah.
And Dave likes this one. Yes, Jackie Green. It is Jackie Green on KFOG from quick name of the album. American Myth?
Yes, that's it. I was going to say the first one. Yeah.
We could have accepted that. I'm So Gone, the tune. It's 8:42 at KFOG, San Francisco, San Jose. Do we have any idea what we're doing for the pop quiz?
No. Well, it's your day. You get to give it to whoever you want.
Oh, neat.
Any way you want.
Okay, I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, I want to thank you for everything. And as a fellow gay baby boomer, I want to thank you for single-handedly breaking the stereotype that we all listen to techno house music. And, honey, you do have the sexiest voice for that.
Why, thank you.
You're very welcome.
He called you honey.
I know. It's been a long time. 8:46 at KFOG, the big boss, Tony Salvador. Who was there before the beginning.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah. Would you call that a smattering of applause?
Should we try that again? Or?
The big boss. Yeah. There we go. Thank you very much.
We didn't want you to think we were kissing up to you just because you're the boss. So, yeah.
Now, I'll use my famous line. I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What is this, an audience or an oil painting?
Tony and I share a very special bond. In fact, Tony, I believe you're the one who first brought me this tape.
CKLW, first in the Motor City with 2020 news. 20 minutes before the hour, this is Byron McGregor.
CKLW 2020 News. The body, beaten, battered body of Mercer Bar.
The lifeless corpse was dragged from the river. Yeah, that's journalism.
They did a documentary on that Detroit news.
Absolutely. Dave was nice enough to give me a video of that, a DVD of that.
That's right. Yeah. Illegal dub.
Tony, you were the guy who hired Dave, right?
Well, technically, I'd like to say because Dave and I are the only guys who have been here from the very, very beginning that I did. But I was actually, with all truth to be told, I was when I came here, I was the general sales manager. And I became general manager shortly after that. But Dave and I were really just kind of one of the staff more than anything else. I mean, I was a manager and he was doing middays, but we worked together right from the very beginning, though. In fact, I came August 6th or something of 82. When did you get here? Do you know the date?
a week later, 2 weeks later, something.
Yeah, because we assembled kind of the staff, early on, and then had not much of time.
Yeah. It was like, I think we met each other the night before the format change. We all went out and had dinner, and then it was like the next day, it was like, do it.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Not the old dry run-through thing,
At our staff party a couple of weeks ago, you told a story about how when KFOG started and took over from the beautiful music station, that it wasn't terribly successful for the first while, right?
Well, it's interesting because it's kind of like an urban myth, KFOG, it's always been a big hit, and it's always been the number one music station in the market, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Well, not so fast, Abernathy. We went on the air, and we were doing an absolutely, as Dave will remember, and some others can remember, we were doing an absolute off-the-wall, formatic approach.
It was totally revolutionary.
Which
and
all
really
of us
critical success.
Absolutely. Which all of us loved, and in fact, I used to say, KFOG at the time was getting probably some of the most incredible press, written press, television guys were covering us, and it was all positive. Unfortunately, Arbitron was telling us nobody was listening back in the day.
I remember reading about it in New York. I was living in New York at the time, and I read about this whole crazy format in San Francisco and what they're going to try to do. What was going on around the dial when you guys did?
Well, that's the interesting part about it, because we were one of 5 AOR state album stations. So the tactic that we took clearly made us stand out, but it was revolutionary at the time. And you know what? To this day, honestly, about 26 years later, if you talk to anybody who comes to this town or listens to KFOG, either here when they're in town or now, of course, on the internet, they'll tell you that it's still a revolutionary radio station. You know what I mean? So we were breaking new ground back then. We've changed a heck of a lot, in that 26 years, but we continue to be kind of on top of our game.
Dave followed Dung in mornings, and Dave is not your typical morning guy at all. So did you think to yourself, what am I doing?
Well, I mean, if obviously the people who are fogheads will clearly remember our good friend M. Dung, and I would tell you kind of a little backstory on this. When we went on the air, we had someone doing Morning Drive who, at the time, I don't even remember who it was at that time, Dave, but nor do we need to remember because they didn't do all that well. Okay. Yeah, but whatever. Anyway,
a name not to be mentioned.
No. But anyway, we were going along, and we thought we were great, but we weren't getting any ratings, and so the then program director, Dave Logan, if he's listening on the internet here, came to me and said, you know what, I think we really need to make a change in Morning Drive, and we'll get some notice and whatever, and I've got an intuition on this. How about M. Dung? We thought, what?
Because he was doing the Sunday Night Idiot Show.
Yes, he was
Dow
doing
A-Way.
Dow A-Way. He was doing his Sunday Night Idiot Show. Anyway, fade out, fade in. We put him in, and here we really made a big, kind of research strategic decision on this. We looked at it and we said, well, we're 30th now. What are we going to be? 31st? If we put so we put him out, and he was a hit.
Huge, yeah.
He was a hit. But you know what? He, like a lot of guys, and that's where you got to give Dave Morey a hell of a lot of credit, because Mike, along with a lot of other guys, along with a lot of other guys, kind of burned out doing morning drives. And we were looking to kind of readjust again, and we approached Dave, and he had no interest in doing this. I mean, if the truth be told, right?
Yeah,
Dave?
oh, totally, yeah. I mean, what person in their right mind would, want to get up in the middle of the night and be under this pressure and all this other stuff, too.
Do you think you'd have to change your persona and become that wacky morning guy?
Well, I kind of thought that they'd wanted me to really hype up the energy a lot, and, and it's like, I can't, I'm just not comfortable doing that. I don't do that well.
Yeah, in fact, actually, that was one of Dave's, real fears of this thing, and we tried to assure him, and I think, history has proven that we weren't kidding. Mm-hmm. We just said to him, you know what, okay, we've had all the screaming and hollering and whatever, but this is KFOG. It's a very hip, kind of professional, smart radio station, and Dave is a very hip, professional, smart guy. So why don't you just be that on the air and see how it works out? Well, guess what?
Worked okay for me.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, it has been I mean, I can't think of... I've never even had a serious relationship last half as long as...
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I've been married 3 times myself. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you, sir. And Tony has been absolutely excellent as far as letting, the programming end of the radio station do its own thing. A lot of management people nose in and screw it up, yeah. But Tony's let back and let the professionals do it. Huh?
Oh, I was just going to say, if I could add one thing. The one thing that I did stick my nose in on, and I've told this story before on the air, but the one thing I did stick my nose in on from a programming standpoint, we had a program director at one time, because we've been through 2 or 3, 4 different program directors. We had one guy come in one day, and he goes, okay, I've made a decision. We're going to get rid of Smoke 2 joints. Friday at 5. And I went, oh, no. Here's what I said. Okay, if for some, reason I wind up having a heart attack and die, that particular Friday you don't have to play it, okay? But as long as I'm around, we're gonna play it. Yeah. So, Dave, it has been fabulous, pal.
Likewise.
I've said a lot, and I could go on forever. And we got a nice little thing for you later on, too.
Well, now, stick around. Meanwhile, I want to do this because, like I said, Tony never interferes, in my gig in 10 at 10, except occasionally, what's going to happen here. We're going to play the song that Tony's been trying to get me to play on 10 at 10 since we started.
Oh, my God. There you go. Oh, my God. I can't believe it.
It's for you, Tony. With love.
Sad eyes, baby.
KFOG.
KFOG, baby.
KFOG.
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 KFOG, sports fans.
KFOG.
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 KFOG. KFOG. KFOG. KFOG.
Nesting tree frog. KFOG.
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 KFOG, top of the heap, San Francisco.
Minutes before 10 o'clock, we have no problem.
No?
Peter's in a hurry, so he wants to get his goodbye out of the way.
Who said I was in a hurry? We wanted to give you time to relax before 10 at 10, because we're looking forward to the
Christmas card.
Yeah.
You still have some, you're still getting your...
Yeah, I'm still editing all those calls together.
I know. We've got work to do.
This could be an interesting one.
That'll be good.
Let me say, are you going to talk? Or?
Well, I'm just glad you don't retire every day because I'm spent. This has been a tiring morning. But, I don't think I need to tell you what the past 15 years have meant to me.
Likewise. I have the ultimate respect for you, not only as a broadcaster and a whatever those awards you have all over the wall winner,
right,
but as a human being and as a father and a family man. I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah.
And I am in awe of you as a person, you as a dad, you as a broadcaster, and
thank you. You're not a schmoozer, and you don't kiss up to people. So when you say something flattering, the person knows you mean it.
I hope so.
And
yeah.
For you to say that, and okay, yeah,
he's done. He can go home now.
I just want to say something.
Okay.
As a kid coming from the alternative radio thing to work with you.
Oh, look at you. You're doing this. Don't do that.
You're such a pro. You're the last of them.
Wow.
Thank you.
Don't. Okay.
Seriously. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How about Renee, one more for the road here?
Did you, what?
One more for the road?
Are we talking drinking or are you
No, we're talking a sleep train commercial.
Oh, yeah. Where's my whistle? I'm like, what do you got over there? Whiskey? Are we moving up?
Sleep Trains. Year-end clearance sale is happening right now. Thank you. Last year's mattresses mean this year's savings. Every year, Sleep Train sells thousands of new mattresses from top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, and Select Comfort. Every year, they clear out hundreds of last year's models during the huge year-end clearance sale. You save on brand new mattresses from last year, and you save on floor samples, demonstrators, and one-of-a-kind items while supplies last. Product may vary by location. Best deals go quickly, so shop early for the best selection. Also, you're going to get free financing for a full year on selected mattress sets. That's no down payment, no monthly payment. payments and no interest for 12 full months on approved credit. Don't forget, at Sleep Train, you can compare them all. Beauty Rest, Posturepedic, Tempur-Pedic, and the Sleep Number bed side by side, all in one store. And you're going to sleep on that new mattress set tonight with Sleep Train's free same-day delivery. Delivery. That's if you purchase it by 2 p.m. Head into Sleep Train during the year-end clearance sale. It's happening right now, where last year's mattresses mean this year's savings. And when they ask, and they will, you tell them the truth, that KFOG sent you. And always remember, never forget, make it good. This is the last time for me, baby. Sleep Train is your ticket to a better night's sleep.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
He ate my candy.
I know. I saw him.
I was so hungry all morning and I couldn't get out of here.
It was my candy. It was part of my going away present.
But there was 4 of them, and I only
not anymore. There's 3.
3 of them. Sorry, but we left you the little tin which you can do.
Oh, the tin is the best part.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Very important.
Okay,
Dave, I just wanted to say I've been the producer of the morning show for 10 years, and I knew we'd all be doing this, saying our farewells and whatever. And I'm not kind of I don't get overly emotional or wear my heart on my sleeve, as you know.
He doesn't even like to be hugged.
No, not much. But I wrote down a few words, just, and it's not a speech or whatever, but words that come to mind when you think of Dave Morey. Compassion.
Thank you.
A work ethic that is unparalleled with it from anyone I've ever worked with. Attention to detail, and these are things that I'd like to think I've learned from you. And a total lack of ego, which in radio is the most awesome thing.
Thank you.
And, it's trying to think of a moment that stands out. 9/11. Because that was a crazy morning.
Yep.
And you were so calm. Mm-hmm. And we were all running around like headless chickens. and I know Fogheads have written you to say the same thing.
Yeah.
You were a calming influence and a voice of reason when everyone was going nuts. And thank you, and best of luck in Michigan.
May I pay you what I think is the supreme compliment? Well, I'm just rather egotistical of myself to say this.
Well, I just said you have lack of ego, so be careful.
Let's switch that one around right now. You remind me so much of me when I first got in the business, but about maybe a third of the way in, as far as your enthusiasm and energy, and you're good.
Thank you.
So, and that's a compliment.
Well, we're going to miss you.
It's been a pleasure working
likewise
with all you guys.
Yeah.
We've got this has been.
It has been good.
A hell of a run, and the past few years, the 4 of us, except Peter, who had to leave.
He's over there looking.
No, he's running in.
Too late. Jingle song.
I was so overcome, I had to leave the room. Emotionally vulnerable right now.
Just the most amazing experience for me working in this room, and when you look at what we've done radio-wise in this major market city, it's great radio. It's nationally respected, and I am very proud, and I think all of us should be very proud of this chapter.
Here's to us.
Yeah.
We're lucky to be alongside with you as you embark on the next phase of your life. So
well, and think about it, there's so many radio stations. It's like, well, I guess I'd be willing to do it for money, but here we've been able to do
because they don't pay us diddly.
No,
except for Dave.
Yeah, right.
And he's walking away from it all. Millions he's leaving on the table.
I can get some new headphones.
Right.
I'm leaving it all to charity, though.
But here we've been able to produce a product we're proud of.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we've
yeah.
been able to make good quality, respectful radio.
Most of the time we feel good after, when we get off the air and saying, yeah, that was good. So anyway.
You need to recreate or pretend to be signing off for the last time for the NBC affiliate here. So say it's been great. Well, because otherwise they have to stick around to the
on his on NBC schedule.
Well, I'm just doing them a favor.
Here we go. Right. Fake sign off for TV crew in 3, 2, 1. It's been wonderful. I don't know what to say. How's that?
That's good.
Cut? All right. But stick around for the real sign-off a little later on this morning.
That's right.
Okay, you want to...
This is the song, and maybe this is me and my taste in music all over the place, but this is what I picture you listening to as you're rocking up Route 69, heading into Michigan. Sorry, I got it backwards.
Yeah, okay.
Route 69 as you head north into Michigan, and this is what I would hope you be playing, AC/DC.
Cindy Williams with new world-class rock. The album is called Little Honey, and that's Real Love, and that's not my last song. Although it's a great song.
It is, but it would have been a quiet. I mean,
It would have been a pop out, you know? I have been thinking about this for quite a long time, actually, what the last song should be. And everybody's speculating. Not everybody, but a few people are like, it's going to be Beatles, right? I'll give you, here's a clue for you all. The Walrus was Paul.
Oh,
but it's not a Beatles song. We're not going to play it till after 10 at 10.
Okay.
It's the...
Well, how is this going to work? You're going to do 10 at 10, and wrap up 10 at 10.
And then we'll just say goodbye and play the song.
And that'll be it.
Yeah, and and you'll be weeping. But you'll say,
will
wow.
we be? Really?
You'll say, wow, what a perfect choice.
Really?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time.
All right.
Meanwhile, it's Fogheads starring in the 2008 10 at 10 Christmas card. We do that right after this.
KFOG San Francisco, FM 104.5. All music, all the time.
Home of 10 at 10 with Dave Morey. Only from 104.5 KFOG San Francisco, 97.7 KFFG Los Altos San Jose. The Bay Area's KFOG.
From KFOG, it's 10 at 10 with 10 great songs from one great year. This is Don Pardo, and now here's your host for 10 at 10, Dave Morey.
Thank you, Don Pardo. 10 at 10 is sponsored by California Closets, inviting you to their showrooms in San Jose, Carmel, Concord, and San Rafael. Friends at home, friends in the studio, special for this special day, April 18, 2006, the 100-year anniversary of the 1906 earthquake and fire. The parade here in San Francisco is about to begin, and so is this set that we will call San Francisco Shaken, okay, because it's kind of half and half. A bunch of Fogheads requesting great songs about San Francisco, a bunch of Fogheads requesting songs about things going crazy, shaken, stuff like that. So we've decided to do a few songs about San Francisco and a few songs about shaken. And it starts with a Bay Area treasure, well, at least we think he is, official beat poet of 10 at 10, Craig Easley, and a piece he calls Frisco.
Some say don't call it Frisco because it rhymes with disco. Frisco, you, silken city of risk, unseasonable myths and strange freedoms, annexed from the Spanish, absconded from the Indians, and ironically named after a saint. Frisco, city of immoral and immaculate, city of spare and despairing change, of live and let live or be homeless. City of streets that confuse and hills pregnant with views. Your lavish bridges, lascivious beaches, and ancient Victorians all victoriously surviving. Barbary Coast City, Amethystine Night City, carnal knowledge cruise ship of a city anchored in a bay of jewels. Yahoo City of psychedelic flags, Halloween drag, Silicon youth, politicians uncouth, neon hair, and loud music to spare. Frisky and cartoonish Frisco, city of high hopes tucked between poetic slopes, city of Java huts and caffeine junkie poets, moody and melodic, politically incorrect, haunted by a vague assortment of vamps and tramps, androgynous and ambivalent, tie-dyed home to various tribes of surf chasers, windbreakers, and lawmakers. Chocolate Factory, Tenderloin, Cannery, Marina Green, China Basin, and Golden Gate Park. Embarcadero of the last frontier, New Sodom by the bay, languishing like a harlot, swimming in the raw milk of tides, slipping slow beneath the sodium lamp of the moon. Frisco, San Fran, city of sin, named after a saint. City at the dead end of the Western world, last stop before going over the edge. Frisco, had you not been born, you can bet your Barbary Coast ass that somebody, somewhere, would have immaculately invented you.
Uh-oh. That's tune number 10, and that means our time is up.
We're back. 10 at 10 on KFOG, San Francisco. Well, we're still here, and that's good. Let it be that way for a while longer. The San Francisco Shaken set for the anniversary, the big one plus 100 years. Today on 10 at 10 on KFOG 104.5 San Francisco, 97.7 San Jose. Grateful Dead, estimated profit, tune number 8. Close, but that one wins best of set. Honorable mention for Living on the Fault Line from the Doobie Brothers and Chris Isaac, who always does well here on 10 at 10. And a couple of votes for the Beat Poet piece at the top of the set. That was Craig Easley, a local treasure, doing the piece called Frisco. We followed that with San Francisco from Welcome Matt, Chris Isaac, San Francisco Days. And then we got into the reality of it all with Living on the Fault Line from the Doobie Brothers. Joe Turner, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Stevie Ray Vaughan, The House is a Rockin'. San Andreas Fault from Natalie Merchant. Estimated Profit by the Grateful Dead. The Who's version of Shakin' All Over from Live at Leeds. And finished off with the energy that song needed. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes version of San Francisco. And I guess that's it for this time, Don Pardo.
But we'll do it again tomorrow. This is Don Pardo inviting you to join us for 10 at 10, right here on 104.5 KFOG.
10 at 10 on KFOG is sponsored by California Closets, inviting you to the showrooms in San Jose, Carmel, Concord, and San Rafael.
Coast to coast, it's the 10 at 10 Radio Network.
KFOG.
KFOG.
KFOG, baby.
KFOG.
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 KFOG sports fans.
KFOG.
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 Nesting tree frog. KFOG.
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 KFOG.